Okay, real talk. Last semester, I got an A on my hardest exam, and I studied for like 3 days. Not 3 weeks, 3 days. And before you think I'm some genius or naturally gifted student, I'm not. I'm literally the person who hits snooze 6 times and watches TikTok instead of reviewing notes. But here's the thing. I figured out how to study smarter, not harder. And I'm about to show you exactly how lazy students like us can ace exams without pulling all-nighters or having mental breakdowns. If you're tired of studying for hours and still blanking on the test, keep watching. So let me paint you a picture. It's me, 2 weeks before finals. I've got 3 exams coming up: chemistry, calculus, and history. And I haven't studied, like at all. I know I'm supposed to start early, I know I should be making flashcards and study guides, but every time I sit down to study, I just can't. I open my textbook. I read the same paragraph 5 times. Nothing sticks. So I give up and scroll Instagram instead. Sound familiar? Here's what most people don't tell you. The reason studying feels so hard isn't because you're lazy or dumb. It's because you're doing it wrong. You're using methods that don't actually work for your brain. You're spending hours doing busy work that makes you feel productive but doesn't help you learn. So let me show you the lazy way, the way that actually works, the way that got me through exams without burnout. And stick around because tip number 4, game changer. All right, first thing you need to understand. Not all information is created equal. In any exam, 80% of the questions come from 20% of the material. That's called the Pareto principle, and it's your new best friend. Here's what I mean. Your professor isn't trying to trick you. They're testing the big concepts, the stuff they hammered in during lectures, the stuff they spent the most time on. So here's what you do. Go through your syllabus, look at your lecture slides, find the topics that showed up the most. That's your 20%. That's what you focus on. For my chemistry exam, there were like 15 chapters we covered, but 3 of them showed up on every single quiz and practice problem, so I studied those 3 hard. And I skimmed the rest. Did I know everything? No. Did I pass? Yeah, with an A. Because I was strategic, I didn't waste time trying to memorize everything. I focused on what actually mattered. Here's your action step. Before you start studying, spend 30 minutes figuring out your 20%. Look at old exams. Ask your professor what's most important. Check the study guide, then ignore everything else. Okay, tip number 2, and this is where most people mess up. Stop rereading your notes. I know it feels productive. I know it's easy. But rereading is basically useless for actually learning. Your brain tricks you. You read something 5 times and you think, okay, I know this. But then the test comes and you blank because you never actually tested yourself. Here's what works. Active recall. Instead of reading your notes, close the book and try to explain the concept out loud. Pretend you're teaching it to someone, or write it down from memory. If you can't, that's good. That means you found a gap. Go back, review that section, and try again. This is hard. It's supposed to be. That's how your brain actually learns. For my calculus exam, I made a list of every formula and concept. Then I'd cover my notes and try to write them all out from memory. The ones I forgot, those got extra practice. By the time the exam came, I didn't have to remember anything. It was automatic. Here's what you do tonight. Take one topic from your exam, close your notes, grab a blank piece of paper, write down everything you remember about that topic. Whatever you forgot, review it, then do it again tomorrow. That's studying. All right, tip 3. And this is for everyone who studies for 4 hours but actually only focuses for like 20 minutes. You know what I'm talking about. You sit down with your textbook. 5 minutes later, you're on your phone. Then you're making a snack. Then you're rearranging your desk. It's not your fault. Your brain isn't built for long, unfocused marathon study sessions. So here's what you do instead. The Pomodoro Technique. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Focus on one thing, just one. When the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break. Actually take it. Walk around, get water, check your phone, then do another 25 minutes. That's it. 4 of these cycles, and you've done 2 hours of actual focused work. which is more than most people do in a whole day of studying. For my history exam, I couldn't focus for more than 10 minutes at a time, so I did 25-minute sprints. In 3 hours, I got through 6 chapters, fully focused. Before, I'd spend 6 hours half reading, half scrolling TikTok and learn nothing. The secret? Your brain can handle 25 minutes of anything. It's short enough that you won't get bored. The secret? Your brain can handle 25 minutes of anything. It's short enough that you won't get bored, but long enough to actually make progress. Try it tonight. 1 Pomodoro session. 25 minutes, full focus on one topic. I promise it works. Okay. Tip 4. This is the one that changed everything for me. All-nighters don't work. I know. You're thinking, but I have to study, I have no choice. Listen, I used to pull all-nighters all the time. And you know what happened? I'd walk into the exam exhausted. My brain was foggy. I'd forget things I knew the day before. Because here's the science. Your brain consolidates memories while you sleep. That's when everything you studied actually gets locked in. So if you skip sleep to cram, you're basically wasting your time. You're studying, but your brain isn't learning. I realized this the hard way. I stayed up until 4 a.m. studying for a biology exam, got 4 hours of sleep, walked in feeling like a zombie, and I blanked on questions I knew I had studied. Next exam, I did something different. I stopped studying at 10 p.m., got 8 hours of sleep, woke up, reviewed my notes for 30 minutes, and walked in, and I felt sharp, focused. I remembered everything. That's when I learned sleep is part of studying. It's not optional. It's essential. If you have to choose between 1 more hour of cramming or 1 more hour of sleep, choose sleep every time. Here's your rule. Stop studying at least 1 hour before bed. Give your brain time to wind down. Get at least 7 hours of sleep the night before an exam. Trust me, you'll perform better. All right, last tip. And this is the most important one. If you want to ace an exam, you need to practice taking the exam, not reading, not highlighting, not making pretty notes. Practicing, find old exams, practice problems, quizzes, anything that looks like the real test. Because here's the thing, the exam isn't testing if you know the material, it's testing if you can use the material under pressure, and the only way to get good at that is to practice. For my chemistry exam, I did every single practice problem the professor gave us, twice. I found old exams online and did those too. By the time the real exam came, I'd already seen similar questions. Nothing surprised me. Meanwhile, my friends spent hours making study guides and flashcards, and they panicked during the exam because they'd never actually tested themselves under time pressure. Here's what you do. Find at least 3 practice tests or problem sets for your exam. Time yourself. Do them under exam conditions. No notes, no phone. Just you and the problems. Check your answers. Figure out what you got wrong. Review those concepts. Then do another practice test. By test day, you'll feel like you've already taken the exam before. And that confidence? That's what gets you the A. Quick bonus tip before we wrap up. Study groups. But here's the thing. Most study groups are useless. You sit around, chat, complain about the exam, and accomplish nothing. So here's how to do it right. Find 1 or 2 people who actually want to study. Set a goal for the session. We're going to review chapters 5 through 7. Assign each person a topic. Then take turns teaching each other. Teaching forces you to actually understand the material. If you can explain it, you know it. For my calculus exam, me and 2 friends met up. We each took 5 practice problems, solved them, then explained our solutions to each other. In 2 hours, we covered 15 problems and actually understood them. Way better than sitting alone rereading formulas. The key? Keep it focused, keep it productive, and leave if it's not helping. So here's what happened when I started using these strategies. I went from stressed, burnt out, barely passing to calm, confident, and actually doing well. Not because I studied more, but because I studied smarter. I stopped treating studying like this huge, overwhelming thing, and I started treating it like a skill, something I could get better at. And the best part? I had time to actually live my life. I hung out with friends. I slept. I didn't spend every waking moment with my head in a textbook. Because here's the truth. Acing exams isn't about suffering, it's about strategy. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to be the most strategic. So if you're stressing about exams right now, take a breath. You got this. All right, here's your challenge. Pick one of these tips, just one, and try it this week. Maybe it's figuring out your 20%. Maybe it's doing one practice test. Maybe it's just sleeping 8 hours before your next exam. Start small, build the habit, and watch your grades improve. And listen, if this video helped you, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more study tips and productivity hacks. And drop a comment telling me which tip you're going to try first. Let's ace these exams without burning out. You deserve to do well and have a life. Now go get that A. I believe in you. In Chew.